Good morning, all of you. Today we are going to discuss the concept of DBMS. And welcome to my YouTube channel for computer science with Python. I am Shirish Mandloi, and today we are going to discuss the concept of more about the concept of SQL and DBMS. First, as you see the unit number 2 in class 12th, that is database management system. And in this chapter, we will learn many things about the introductions, purpose of DBMS, the relation database management, models, relational database model terminology, brief history about the MySQL, and many more things. So first things, what is the concept of DBMS? A database management system refers to the technology for creating and managing database. DBMS is a software tool to organize means creation, retrieving information, update the information, and manage all the informations related to data in a database. This is the concept of DBMS. Simply, if you are talking about database system, is basically a computer system record keeping system. It is a one computer based system which keep the record, which keep the all the information. It is simply the collection of data usually referred to us as database contain information about one particular enterprise. A database management systems or database system in short is a software that can use to create and manage database. DBMS lets user to create a database. DBMS is provide the opportunity to user to create database, store different and many kind of informations, manage information, update or modify the information as soon as they can retrieve the information from the database. Some example of database management system, yes, they are MySQL server, Oracle server, PostgreSQL, SQL Server Normal, and Microsoft Access and Mango DB. These are the example of DBMS. In short definitions, if you are talking about what is the short definition of DBMS, a database management system refers to the technology for creating and managing database. It's one kind of technology which is especially used to create and manage the database. DBMS is a software tool to organize, which means creation, retrieving informations, update information, and how we can manage the informations of particular data in database. So this is about DBMS. And a database may be defined as a collection of interrelated data stored together to serve multiple applications. To serve multiple applications. Why DBMS is required or what is the purpose of DBMS? A DBMS, if we say, refers to a software that is responsible for storing, maintaining, and utilizing database. है ना? A DBMS along with a DBMS is referred to as database system. So should be a repository system data needed for an organization's data for processing. The data should be accurate, private, or protected from damage. It should be organized so that diverse application with different data requirements can employ the data. Different application programs and different end user will have different views of the data, which must be derived from a common overall data structure. So some methods are required for this. So these are the requirement, these are the purpose why DBMS is required to develop a software application in less time. First things, data independency and efficient use of data. Maximum and efficient use of data is required for uniform data administration. For data integrity and security purpose, data should be integrated and data must be secure while accessing the information. For concurrent access to data and data recovery from crash. Concurrent access from 2 3 systems, they are continuously accessing the information of particular same data. They should all provide the proper information to their end user. There is no mismatch. Some one system is showing information for different purpose and other system is showing same information in different manner, so it is not a good mechanism. So concurrent access to data should be there. Data recovered from crash, yes, data should be recovered as soon as there's any kind of crash or any kind of virus attack. To use user friendly and declarative query language, one kind of query language will be there. So these are the requirement of DBMS. Why DBMS is required? Simple like things. One more things. A number of different applications programs are written to extract record from the and add the records to the appropriate files. But the scheme has a number of major limitations, disadvantages such as data redundancy, duplication of data, data inconsistency, multiple copies of same data but not matching with another, unshareable data, unstandardized data, insecure data, incorrect data. These are the some disadvantages of primary level of database, limitation of database. But a database management system is answer to all such problems. A proper database management system is the answer for all the problems, as it provides a centralized control to the data, thereby minimizing all this problem which I mentioned just now. So these are the example of DBMS in banking sector to provide the customer informations, account details, loan details, transaction details, crop loan, which maintain all the information regarding the farmer personal data, land area, cultivations data, loan history like that. Inventory management system, yes, product details, customer information, order details, and many more informations like that. So these are the applications where DBMS is required, and DBMS is only way to maintain all such data. Just move on the next slide. What is query? A query is request. Query is a request to database for obtaining informations in a desired way. Query can be made to get informations from one table or from more than one table. For example, suppose I want to find the names all those students present on attendance date from this one. So for that I need one query. Suppose I have created database, I have created informations, I have maintained everything, but how we can extract the information? For that the command is required, and that command is known as query. Write the characteristic of DBMS. We have just seen provides security and removes the redundancy. Self-describing natures of DBMS. Insulation between programs and data abstraction. Support of multiple views. Multiple views should be there. Sharing of data and multi-user transaction processing. Yes, it will support sharing of data and multi-user concept will be there. DBMS allows entities and relations among them to form tables. Yes, different kind of table must be there, and each table they are sharing the informations to each other. It follows the ACID concept: atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. DBMS support multi-user environment. Yes, that allows user to access and manipulate data in parallel. Parallelly, I am accessing the information from one table, and my other user is also accessing same information from same table. So it will support such kind of environment also. So these are the few characteristic of DBMS. Suppose question will come in what are the give any 5 examples. So these are the examples of DBMS software. Now next thing is what is RDBMS? In relation data model, the model is organized into tables. When we are maintaining the information in the form of table, now, these tables are called relation. A row in a table represents a relationship among a set of values. Since a table is a collection of such a relationship, it is generally referred to using the mathematical terms relation from which the relational data model derived its name. So RDMS stands for Relational Database Management System. RDBMS is basis of for SQL language. For all modern database systems like MS SQL Server, IBM DB2, Oracle, MS SQL, and Microsoft Access, the data in RDBMS is stored in a database object called tables. A table is what? A table is a collection of related data, entries, and it contains of column and rows. So RDMS is what? RDMS just maintain the information or organize the data in the form of tables. And tables is a combination of rows and column. Okay. Just for like employee, table name is employee, relation name is employee. It has the columns employee ID, employee name, employee salary, employee address, like that. Move on the next one. What is table or relation in SQL? A relation in a table that consists of rows and column. Relation in a table which consists of rows and column. Each column has a name like ID, name, age, and address. Just wait 1 minute. So a relation is a table that consists of rows and column. Each column has a name and contains some kind of values like ID, name, age, address, salary. These are known as column name. And record rows 1, Ramesh 32, Ahmedabad 2000. These are the rows are known as records of the table. Now, some important terms. First one, domain. A domain for an attribute is a set of allowable values that can be stored for the attribute in the particular relations. Domains is what? These are the set of values which are stored in the particular attributes. For example, employee name. Attributes for the employee relations can have only character values. Every attribute in a relations has a domain. Suppose in previous slide, if we see ID is attribute. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the values. So values are known as domain. Tuple is a row of relations. That elements of relations are the rows or tuples in a relations. For example, relations employee has two tuples. Attributes Attributes is the named column of relations. Relations are created to hold information about the object to be represented by the database. Columns in a relations are called attributes. Attributes, they are the heading. We can say it's heading of particular columns like employee name, ID, address, city, pin code. These are the attributes. Degrees. Degree of a relations or table is the number of attributes it contains. Employee relations have 5 attributes. Thus, it have the degree of 5. Suppose if we're talking about this table, number of columns are 5. So, degree of this table is 5. Cardinality. The cardinality of relations is the number of tuples. The counting of rows in a particular table is known as cardinality of table or cardinality of relations. The cardinality of relations change as the tuples are added. As soon as the tuples are increased and tuples are added, so cardinality will increase. Our tuples are related, so cardinality is related also. Now, one more thing, important terms is candidate key. Candidate key, first, before candidate key, we will discuss the primary key. The candidate key is selected to identify the tuples uniquely in relations is called primary. In a particular table, one attribute is like that, which is unique and which is unique for every record of a table. For suppose in employee table, employee ID is unique for every employee. So employee ID is primary key for employee table. Now candidate key is a column or set of columns in a table that uniquely identify any database record without referring to any other data. Candidate key is a set of columns which are unique for every records. And out of this candidate key, we will select any one column or any one key as primary key. For example, you are having employee number, employee voter ID, employee Aadhaar card, employee registration number. All are unique, but any one we have to select as primary key for the table. So these are the concept of candidate key and primary key. Alternate key. The alternate keys are the keys which are not selected as primary key. From 4 candidate key, we are selecting one key as primary key. Now left keys, remaining keys are known as alternative keys. Suppose employee name, employee phone, these are the tables and we are selecting only one column as primary key. Now left out the which are not selected as primary key, they are known as alternate keys. Now foreign key, one more concept is there. The foreign key is an attribute or set of attributes in a relations that match the candidate key of some other relation. A foreign key is simply a column whose values are derived from the primary key of any other table. Suppose in students roll number is primary key. Now the roll number is defined in attendance table, this one, and here the roll number is foreign key. Now roll number column is here, it is foreign key, but it is a foreign key and this one is primary key in this student table. Now Cartesian product is simply we are just joining the two tables, multiplying two tables. Here the every row of one table is joined with every row of second table. This is known as Cartesian product. Matching of columns should be same. Here like first table is containing 1A. 1A is appear one time with 1A1. 1A is appear one more time with 2B1. Here you can see 1 1 this one. Now 2 2 3 3 4 4. So this multiplication of two tables are known as Cartesian product. Here we can say here one color name of table is color red blue, number name of table is size. The size are different size are given there. So here red is repeated with two times with a small, red and blue both the things two times repeated with a small, red and blue again repeated two times with medium, red and blue again repeated two times with large, and red and blue finally one more time is repeated with extra large. So this is Cartesian product, which is one more result set. The concept of views. A view is a virtual table based on the result set are an SQL statement. Views in SQL are the virtual tables. They are virtual tables and not really exist. Not we are creating them. But when we try to create view from 2 to 3 tables, I want to information from academic. I want to see the information from personal. So I am joining this two table and just creating one more view to see to observe the information from academic and personal information. So I have to create the view. So create view can be created with the help of create view statements. Now types of SQL statement. Types of SQL command or statement is here. SQL is a structure query language. A structure query language and which is used to deal with structured data. Structured data means generally stored in the form of relation or table. That's why it is known as structured data. Now there are SQL commands DDL, DML, DCL, TCL and DQL. These are the some categories of SQL command. We will discuss in next chapter also. So types of SQL command: data definition language, data manipulation language, transaction control language, session control statement, system control statement, and embedded SQL statement. These are the categories in which SQL statements are divided. Now, what is DDL statement? DDL statement, it's data definition language, consists of SQL commands that can be used to define the database. When we try to define the database, only just give the definition and structure of DBMS, so we have to use the concept of DDL. Description of database schema used to create and modify structure. Like create commands are create command, alter command, drop command, truncate command, rename command. Second part is DML, data manipulation language, which is used to modify the database. It is responsible for all form of change in database. DML commands in SQL will change the data, such as how we can change, how we can manipulate data by inserting new record, by deletion and updation existing record. These are the ways to retrieve the information. Commands covered in DDL statement: insert, select, update, and delete. These are the four categories through which we can manipulate, we can retrieve the information, update the information, delete the information from database. So all this commonly known as DML, data manipulation language. Third category is transaction control statements. Transaction control statements manage change made by DML statement. It is used to manage the change which is done by DML statement, like commit command. Commit is just commits the transaction which is used to whatever you have done. It's just save the finally it save the all statements with result. Rollback, suppose you have insert a record or you have to delete a particular record and you want to roll back that particular query, then you have to use the rollback. Save point sets the save point within a transaction, different categories and different statement in which we can just use the save point concept. Next one Next one is set transaction, although it is not part of our syllabus. Specify characteristic for the transaction. Now, how we can set the characteristic of transactions, properties of transaction? We can do this by using this method, by using this concept. Now, this is part 1 of class 12th computer science with Python, unit number 2, and that is relation database management system. First part is over. Second part is simple queries in SQL. We are going to start now. Second part is SQL introduction, history of SQL. History of SQL. In the June 1970, one professor is there, Dr. E.F. Coates, published one paper after research, a relational model of data for large shared data banks in the Association of Computer Machinery Journal. Coates model is now accepted as worldwide definitive model for relation database management system. Using Coates model, the language structure English query language was developed by IBM. IBM just produced one language, created one language, name of that language at that time, structure English query language was developed by IBM Corporation in St. Joe's Research Center. The language was first called SQL, but officially pronounced of SQL. In 1979, Oracle introduced the first commercially available implementation of SQL. Then Oracle decided to this language, which it will be used by all and general purpose, commercial purpose. So it developed the concept of SQL. Today, SQL is accepted as worldwide standard RDBMS language, and it is used to fire the queries to access the different kind of information from the database. Now, what is definition of SQL? Introduction of SQL. SQL is a standard language for dealing with relational database. SQL can be used to insert, search, update, delete records from database. SQL can be SQL can be do lots of other operations, including optimizing and maintaining the information of database. So SQL became standard for American National Standard Institute in 1996, and it is authorized by ISO in 1987. So what SQL is enable us creating, modifying database structure, changing security setting of system, permitting user for working on database on tables, querying database, inserting, modifying, deleting, and database contents. These are some tasks which is done by the SQL. Now, how our SQL is used? Simple. It helps user to access data our information from our DBMS system. It helps you to describe the data. It allows you to define the data in database and manipulate that specified data. It will give permission to us. We just manipulate the data. This is the structure, define the structure of data. With the help of SQL, you can create and drop database tables. With the help of SQL commands, yes, we can create the database, and as well as we can drop the table, we can table. SQL offers you to use the function in a database. SQL offers you to use the some built-in function is also there, which we can use in database. Create and view stored procedure is also there. We can set permissions on tables. In this particular table having the permission to use only that particular user by only that particular user. So we can define permissions on a table, procedure, and some views also. Data types. We know everything is having type. Like in Python language, we are having the type for integer, character, float. Similar things, we are having the data types. Data types means to identify type of data, associated operations for handling it. A values data type associate a fixed set of properties with value. These properties cause different treatments of database. For example, you can add values of number data type, but you can't add values of character. Now we can manipulate numbers, but we cannot add manipulate the character. So data type of attribute data type indicates the type of data value, and attributes can have that data types of an attribute decide the operations that can be performed on the data of that attribute. For example, as arithmetic operation can be performed on numerical things only. We cannot perform on character. Let's see. In you see table number 1, employee ID, it is number. So it is type of number. Employee name, which contain only characters and string. So it is type of string character. So these are known as data type. Employee name, which type? String character. Employee salary is which type? Integer. Employee age is which type? Number, integer. So all these are known as data types. Now in SQL, what are the categories of data type? First one, character, bracket n. N is indicator. You can mention the size for the data type character. Specifies character type data of length n where could be any values from 0 to 225. Character is fixed length variable. Fixed length variable means when you declare the variable of size 10, that means it will reserve the 10 characters memory in computer system. Now, if you are declaring only 4 city, now remaining 6 is occupied by the space. That means all 10 space is counted, calculated when you declare character and with 10. In varchar n, specify character type data of length n, where n could be any value from 0 to 65,535. But unlike character, varchar is variable length. Variable length means according to given value, it's used the memory of occupied, is used to occupy the memory. Like that is varchar 30 means maximum 30 characters can be stored. Okay, and I am writing here city is having only 4, remaining 30, remaining 27, no, remaining 27 will not be used. Only 4 character as occupied the space in the memory. This is difference between character and varchar. Integer short form is int, is specified to use integer values, and each int occupies 4 bytes of storage. The range of allowable values for integer is given here and occupy 8 bytes. By big integer is occupies 8 bytes. Decimal, we are having two values for decimal, precision and scales. Precision means how many numbers you want for floating, and after decimal numbers, how many numbers you want to show. That is for P and S. Float P, the floating point numbers, MySQL use two P values to determine whether you are using float or double number. Float SD, a floating point number, the total numbers of digits is specified in size. The number of digits after decimal point is specified by the D. Date is the data types. You can mention YYY, MM, DD in the form of such. You can mention. Now one more, there difference between character and varchar. Character data type is used to store character of fixed length, and varchar data type is used to store character string of variable length, depend on the variable length and depend on the fixed length. Character, if the length of string is less than set or fixed length, then it is padded with extra memory. Now, if the length of given value is less than to fixed length, then it will be used remaining memory also. But in varchar, if the length of string is less than to set or fixed length, then it will store as it without padded the extra memory space. For example, character is a fixed length string data type, so any remaining space is filled is a padded with blank space. Character takes up 1 byte per character. So suppose I am declaring character 100 fields. So it's take 100 bytes on disk regardless of string size. Suppose character 10, I am using Amit. String type is Amit. And as 10 bytes appending, but 6 trailing space and this 5 4 is character. 4 plus 6 10, all 10 space is used by character 10 because it's fixed length concept. And here varchar, the depend on the variable length. Suppose I am declaring variable 100, I am using gen, it's occupied only 3 bytes, gen plus 2 extra bytes, that is 5 bytes will be used. So this is difference between character and varchar. So dear students, I hope you will like this topic, and in next topic we will discuss the SQL provides different kind of statements, variety of statements for querying data, inserting data, updating data and deleting data, rows in a table, creating, replacing, altering and dropping tables. So from next lecture we will start how we can create the SQL table and how we can access the information from the SQL table. So this is for today only. I hope you will like this lecture, which just light on few topics about RDBMS, DBMS, and SQL. So dear students, we are closing our lecture here only. Thank you. Have a nice day.